crazy because in my house, oh, dadgummit. Okay, so I did it again. I was sitting here talking away for like the last 2 minutes, and I didn't realize that I didn't hit the go button. It still gets me sometimes. On OBS, I hit start recording, and I see myself here, talking away on the video, but I didn't hit the start stream. So, yeah, we're here now. I was wondering why I was talking so much and nobody was saying anything. But anyway, I'll rewind back to what I was saying, and yeah, hopefully y'all are all having a fantastic weekend. I know it's already back to the grind tomorrow, Monday morning. Hopefully you've got lots of coffee, and hopefully get a good night's sleep tonight with plenty of energy to get the week started. And some of you may even have spring break right now. So my kids' spring break is next week. It's not this week, but yeah. So hopefully you all had a good week, good weekend, lots of productive stuff, all that jazz. Not too much crazy stuff going on here. I did some grocery shopping today. I recorded a couple videos. Been doing a lot of phone testing and stuff like that because I've got this Redmi Note 10 Pro that I've been working with here the last couple of days, and it's actually a pretty exceptional device. I've been really, really happy with it. Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if it like picks up the video from whenever I was talking before I hit start, or if it just starts off in the middle of like me rambling and go straight into the video. I don't know. I'll have to go back and watch it and find out. But yeah, I was just sitting there talking away, and I've done this before. This is not the first time that I've done this. If you use StreamYard, you just hit start and it goes. But whenever you stream straight into YouTube using OBS, you hit start record on OBS, and then you can see inside the YouTube video window, it pops up and you see yourself like it's live, but then you also have to hit start stream in the top right corner. So just so you know. Yeah, this is the Indian version, Seiko. This is, so Xiaomi, they make also the Redmi phones. So Redmi is basically Xiaomi phones inside of India, and then the Xiaomi is like their Chinese and global stuff. But yeah, this is it. This is the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Just came out a few days ago. I've released a few videos on it. And I gotta say, I've been really, really impressed with it. It's got this onyx gray color is the one that I have. And it is a sharp looking phone. Like, I really like the way this phone looks. It's got the 108 megapixel camera. It's got this little shiny, like aluminum silver looking, lens area around it where it sticks out. It's okay. I don't really like that. It honestly looks a little on the cheap side to me. But yeah, it's overall it's a really good phone. It makes me wonder how long it's going to take before these guys finally start selling phones in the U.S. Like, I know that Huawei has their problems, but like Xiaomi and some of the other ones, not really that big of a deal, I don't think. So if they ever get these in the U.S., this thing would kill. I mean, Snapdragon 732G, 6 gigs of RAM. You can get an 8 gig of RAM version. Dual SIM, 120 hertz refresh rate. It's got an AMOLED screen on it. Facial recognition technology, built-in fingerprint sensor. 108 megapixel camera, if I didn't already say that. Dual stereo speakers, speaker up top, speaker down bottom. It's got an IR blaster. It's got a headphone jack. I mean, it's got like everything you could possibly ask for in here. And they started off, their introductory price was like $269, like converted over to US dollars. You can pick them up on AliExpress. You can't get them from like Amazon or anything like that. I'm assuming that they will be on eBay soon as some people trickle them over there. But I've been really happy with this phone. And it comes with the screen protector already installed, and it comes with the case. So yeah, they're doing some really good things. I like what Xiaomi's doing. I'm wearing the Mi Smart Band or whatever it is right now. They actually sent me a package. Like, it wasn't a, hey, review this stuff and, whatever box. It was just a gift box, I guess, because I reviewed so many of their things. So they sent that over here, and the box had, like, the Xiaomi earbuds, which they're not that great, really. They're okay. This little fit band, which is neat. I mean, it gets notifications, heart rate sensor, all that stuff. So I've been messing around with it, and they sent me their little, like, their version of Roku. But, yeah, I've got that. And I've also been I've been using my Mi 11. So those of you who know that my S21 battery life, S21 Ultra battery life is pretty much terrible. So I've been testing out and using the Xiaomi Mi 11. I'm very tempted to actually sell and get rid of my S21 Ultra because it's driving me up a wall. But yeah, so not a whole lot of stuff going on. Let me see what's going on here. Lots of people in the chat. UWG fella, have you ever reviewed a Bell Pair Classic? I don't know if that's a typo and you mean Blackberry Classic, but I'm not sure what you mean there. How about the Punked MP02? I have not reviewed the MP02. I actually have, they actually follow me on Twitter. I talked to those guys about the MP02. I thought about reviewing it, and then I thought there's absolutely no way that I would actually use this phone. It's just got the number pad and that little digital screen, the little readout for the numbers. I could not use that. I have entirely too much stuff that I do on my phone, a lot of communication, a lot of work-related stuff. I just couldn't do that. Need too many things out of my phone to use that. Tom C, hey, thanks for being here tonight. Kyle Sefton, thanks for showing up as always. Chris Honorad. Yeah, so I saw that earlier. Yeah, maybe the clock is a little bit different here. I mean, it's just now showing 7:38. I did get started like 3 minutes late, mostly because I was talking to myself and forgot to hit the start button. Homebrew GT, hey, thanks, doing good. I'm doing fine here. 2 minutes of opinions, we'll never know. Yeah. You can configure the YouTube thing to auto start. I will have to look into that because it would be really nice if it would start whenever I hit record. And the only problem I have with Xiaomi devices, bands and LTE bands missing for US carriers. Then again, devices are so good. Yeah, and that's the thing. They don't have all of the bands, but I've not had any issues. Like, I used the Poco X3 NFC, no problems with T-Mobile. I used the Poco M3. I used the Xiaomi Mi 10T Pro 5G, the Mi 11. They just get better and better. Like, yeah, a couple of years ago, they weren't as good. But there's a lot of LTE bands that are built in these antennas now, so it's really not something that I'm overly worried about. You don't get 5G, and some people have stated that some of them have been able to get 5G in certain areas with certain carriers. I cannot speak to the validity of that because mine do not over here on T-Mobile in Houston. But hey, if it works, it works. Ignosis, hello, thanks for being here tonight. Johnny B. Where is my BlackBerry? I don't know. Where'd you put it? Christian Geraldo, hello. And can you keep the review devices? Yeah, so usually I do keep the review devices. There's been very, very few times where I've ever had to send anything back. Usually if they send you one out, it's to keep. So one cool thing, I wanted to show this off. I've got a video coming. It's not coming out tomorrow, but I've got the BlackBerry 7100G that you can see here. And I really wanted to show this off, and I bought this. I think I paid about 40 or 50 bucks on eBay. This is actually the very first BlackBerry I ever had. It's not the identical. It's not the one that was mine. I bought this from somebody else, and surprisingly, it's still in working order. I haven't tried putting a SIM card in it yet. I don't know if it'll work. It may. It may be locked to AT&T Singular. It's even got the old Singular logo down there on the bottom. But yeah, this is the very first BlackBerry that I ever got. It had a whopping 4 megabytes of memory with emails and text messages and stuff like that. But it's really, really neat. It's got the little thumb wheel on the side over here. And it's funny taking a look at this because this has the old two letters per key setup. And I actually made a TikTok video earlier. I set up a TikTok channel a long time ago, but I'm not creative or inventive enough to make those things at least entertaining to where people want to watch them. So I've tried making a couple just to see how they do. But yeah, it's neat. It's got 2 letters per key, so it's instead of 1, of course. And I actually could type pretty well on this thing. And whenever you were typing along, like if you needed to use a different word, because sometimes it would be a very similar word you're typing with the same letters, you'd have to use the scroll wheel to switch between them. But this was actually really good. I had this phone in 2005 whenever it came out. I took it with me when I went to Iraq in 2006. I had it there with me as well. I couldn't get phone service on it. I tried very, very hard to get it to work, but it wouldn't. Anyway, a really, really neat phone. It's got a little color LCD screen. Got the speaker on the back. I mean, these things really used to be designed for productivity and business. I mean, straight up, it wasn't. It wasn't as like things are now with the way that smartphones and stuff like that are. Because I've got the BlackBerry Key 2 LE right here, and you can see there's been a lot of changes over the last 15 years, 2005 versus 2018. So yeah. Well, I'm jealous. Yes, I mean it is nice that they send them out. Of course, you got to make videos. So I mean, some people are like, "Oh wow, that's a privilege." And yeah, I mean, ultimately, it is a privilege. It's something that I'm very grateful for that they send me these out to review. But sometimes when you have a lot of phones to review, it's not always as glamorous and exciting as you would think that it might be. Especially when sometimes, like, I don't have a wide audience for Redmi phones, so it's not like BlackBerry where I can launch it and there's like lots and lots of people that will watch it. Sometimes these videos don't get a lot of views, and then it's like a lot of work. And it may not necessarily be a phone that I'm going to use, or I may not use it long term. So, but I do like to cover them so people can see all the different devices. Let me see. I had the Poco F1, my reception. Yeah, the Poco F1 was a different story. Several years ago, and I believe that had the Snapdragon 845 in it. They were not as global LTE bands were not nearly as widespread as they were back then. And you got to think too. Here in the U.S., AT&T has different bands, Sprint has different bands, T-Mobile has different bands. There's a lot of different ones. So sometimes you can get one and use it in one area, and it might not work as well in the other area, or it might work on one carrier better than the other carrier. And that was a problem I ran into a lot with the older BlackBerry devices, because looking at the BlackBerry 10 devices, there would be different variants, and some of them would be designed for, like the 100-2 would be for T-Mobile, the 100-3 would be for like AT&T. Just for example, so sometimes you could get one and get it unlocked and then use it on another carrier, and it wouldn't work as well. So it's gotten a lot better over the years. And like I said, using T-Mobile here in Houston, I've not had any problems here in recent memory with these phones. Hi, big fan. Shout out, please. Well, hello, Silent Gamer. There's your shout out. Thanks for being here. Christopher Sullivan. I just saw the new Huawei folding phone, miles ahead, and what I think the Fold 3 should be. So I've seen some of the stuff on it, and it does look really good. I don't want to compare it too hard to the Fold 2, because I'd imagine the Fold 3 is not too far away, which I think would be the 2021 competitor for whatever this phone is. So I'm expecting good things. I'm hoping that Samsung will really it's going to be hard to top the upgrade between the Fold and the Fold 2. Like the Fold 2 definitely made tons of improvements, tons of refinements, and really made the phone a lot better for the Fold 2. I don't know if there's that much room or if there's that much that they can really fine-tune going to the Fold 3. But just having S Pen support, having a reinforced screen, there's certain things that of course they will be able to do to make it better. I'm hoping that it has a little bit better camera experience, more online with the S21 Ultra. So we'll see, and I hope battery life is good as well. I like my Fold 2. I may honestly sell it just because I'm not using it. Ever since I got the S21 Ultra, it's pretty much sat on the desk. So I may go ahead and sell my Fold 2. Which is frustrating because I got it on a payment plan with T-Mobile. So I'm like, well, if I get it on a payment plan, I'm stuck with it. I'll have to use it. And then I can't, I won't be trying to get rid of it and all that good stuff. But in reality, with all the phones that I'm testing, it's not my favorite. So it's not my daily driver. It was my daily driver. I forced myself to use it prior to getting the S21 Ultra. But I just love the S21 Ultra so much that I don't use the Fold. So instead of paying for it, and just waiting around and trading it in for the Fold 3, I may just sell and get rid of it. I don't know. We'll see what happens. Let me see. Still got snow in Texas. Glad to see you okay. Yeah, we're doing okay down here. Things were kind of sucky about 2 weeks ago. I had family members that really did not fare nearly as well as I did whenever it came to the snowstorm. Like my brother, one of my brothers, because I have 6 brothers and 2 sisters, and we all live around here except for one. One of his main water lines in his attic busted and he got water. It was all up in his attic. It was like coming down the walls. It was coming out of the electrical outlets. His water line out in his yard busted too. He had water everywhere, and it was like 20 degrees outside, ice everywhere, and just water. It was a big mess. They had to rip all sorts of stuff out. And then my other brother had like 9 leaks up in his water pipes up in his attic. So yeah, some of my family did not do very well when it came to that stuff. And my house was fine. I was very, very aggressive with leaving the water faucets kind of on like a fast drip. So I would do that, and then about every 2 hours, I would open up the lines and flush them out with lots of water, turn on the dishwasher, turn on the washing machine, and wash some clothes. So I used a lot of water, but I was like, you know what? I'd rather pay an extra $20-25 on my water bill than have these pipes bust. And it's not so bad itself just in the pipes busting, which is terrible. But then there's a shortage on plumbers. There's a shortage on PVC pipe. There's a shortage on all the tools and materials that people need to get them fixed. So it's worse than just water damage. It's just trying to get people's lives back to normal. There's still residual issues from that. So I have fortunately have been okay. A lot of people not as fortunate as me. What country do I live in? I live in the USA, Silent Gamer. It is 7:48 p.m. here right now. June, thanks for being here tonight. Alberto, I really look forward to the new BlackBerry. Seems like forever. Yes, I am really looking forward to them putting something out at some point in time. They said originally in their launch, in their release, that it was supposed to be available the first half of 2021. Which means, to me, I've been saying the whole time, June 30th. I mean, I think it's possible they could still get it there by then. But, we haven't heard anything. And here we are the 7th of March. So, hopefully we'll hear something from them soon. That would be great. I mean, we did hear the news about, like, they're working on their distribution plan and all that good stuff from their news article about, I guess, 2 or 3 weeks ago now. And then also they hired their, senior VP for government contracts and international sales, and also they're talking about the phone being available in Asia as well. It's supposed to be a global flagship, so I'm really looking forward to it. But as far as updates and new information, I don't have anything. I know as much as y'all do at this point. I'm new to T-Mobile Magenta plan and got a Pixel 4a 5G. I'm loving it. Hey, the Pixel 4a 5G, such a good phone. That phone has all the power and the performance of a Pixel 5, but it doesn't have the metal body. It doesn't have the enhanced refresh rate. There are things that it doesn't have that the Pixel 5 does, but it's really such a good phone. And I didn't get one. They didn't send that one out with the Team Pixel program. They sent out the 4A and they sent out the 5. And I really hoped that they would. I even emailed them and I was like, hey, can I get the 4A 5G? I'd really love to cover this for my channel. And they never got back with me, of course. But it's kind of a one-way relationship. Like, they're like, hey, confirm your address. We're going to send you something soon. Okay, cool. And then you email them back and you never hear anything. So, I mean, that's whatever. But yeah, I know people that have gotten the 4A 5G. I've read a lot about it. I've looked at the stuff. Especially with the price drop some of these things have. I think I saw the other day that you could get it for like $350 on T-Mobile, if I remember correctly. Maybe that's the deal that you got. But the 4A 5G, just such a good phone. Chris Honorad, hopefully I'm pronouncing that properly. Honorad. Glad we still have someone talking about BlackBerry. Keep up the great work. Hey, I love BlackBerry. I talk about everything. I mean, I'm covering Redmi phones. I'm covering Xiaomi phones. I'm covering... I've got like 6 phones on my desk right here right now. Like, y'all can't see everything. Actually, hold on one second. I'll use my Z Flip to talk about that in a minute. But yeah, I've got my Xiaomi Mi 11 right here. I've got the Redmi Note 10 Pro. I've got the BlackBerry Key 2 LE. I've got the LG Wing sitting here. I've got my iPhone 12 Pro Max. I've got my Samsung Galaxy S11. I've got my Nord N10 5G. I've got so many phones sitting here that I'm working on right now. And then I have my son's S21 Plus that I confiscated from him because he's in trouble. Yeah, it's one of those things where, like, I have, and also I'm drinking cherry Coke tonight. Hopefully I'll have something to drink to keep yourselves entertained while we do this. And this is not even on my phones. These are just ones I'm actively working on right now. I recorded 3 videos today on 3 different phones. I'm trying to get ready for this next week. A lot of times when I record videos, it's like the day before, or like I'll shoot stuff like, let's say I'm working on the Xiaomi Mi 11. Throughout the week, I'll be like, I'll shoot some pictures one day. I'll shoot some video clips. I'll do some other stuff. But when I actually sit down to record the actual A-roll for the review, I do it all in one shot, like all in one day. So yeah, I'll do a video Friday night for Saturday morning, or I'm doing a video tonight that I was working on earlier to put out tomorrow morning. So I'm trying to get a couple of them kind of ready to go, so that way it's less stressful for me having to sit down every night and work. But also trying to get ready because I'm going to be going out of town on spring break next week. So I'll have like 3 days that I'll be like shooting and working remotely somewhere else. But yeah, no word on the new Blackberry. I'm hoping there's going to be some sort of an announcement soon. That would be great. Like I said, I don't know anything more than I did last week or anything more than talking to you guys previously, but I'm really hoping for something soon. That would be great. If you're selling your Fold 2, let me know. Might be interested. You can message me on Twitter. I haven't decided yet. The other option is keeping my Fold and selling the S21 Ultra. So I really like the S21 Ultra. I actually prefer using this over the Fold, but I'm only getting like 4.5 hours, maybe on a really good day where just the stars align, I might get right at 5 hours with like 10% battery left. But the battery life on here has not been impressive, and it really does frustrate me. Let me see. Still rocking the Note 20 Exynos version. Sorry, it's the Exynos version, but the Note 20 is a very good phone. Any rumors on the Z Flip? So I haven't heard anything. I'd seen some stuff with regard to like leaks and rumors with talking about expanding the second screen on the front and doing some more things to make it more functional. But as far as release dates, I don't know. I was kind of thinking we would see or hear something in the near future because, last year the Z Flip came out, I think, around March. And also, they don't have everything lined up. So I don't know what their release cycle is going to be. Initially, the original Fold came out in April. And then the fixed version came out in September. So then the Fold 2 came out, what was it, like March? No, the Fold 2 came out this last fall. So I don't know what kind of a release cycle that they're on right now with it. But I'm hoping soon, because the Z Flip 5G was kind of like just a minor tech refresh for the Z Flip, making it 5G. So I don't know what the plans are for that, but I'm hoping we'll hear something soon. But my thoughts were we'd probably see one around the springtime. But who knows? That's just my own intuition. I don't know personally when it might come out. I got it with a new line for $175. Man, that's a good deal. The Pixel 4a 5G for $175. That's fantastic. What would you consider a good price for a used Z Flip 5G, considering next gen may come out soon? Honestly, if you're going to pick one up, you can get a Z Flip, not the 5G version, refresh on Amazon for, I want to say, like $6.99 or less. That's probably the best bet. There's really not that much of a fundamental difference. They're the Mystic colors, the 5G, and the Snapdragon 865 Plus. So the 865 Plus is nice, but they're probably going to have the same trade-in value for the 5G versus the regular Z Flip. So honestly, I would just buy the Z Flip, which runs and feels almost the same to me. There's really not that much difference. The only reason that I got the Z Flip 5G, the one I bought, actually was used from somebody else, and like one of the letters was popped out. It had a bunch of surface scratches on the outside. The screen was fine. So what I did was I actually ended up selling that one and buying this one. So it helped offset the price quite a bit. So I got this one because it was brand new. I love the Z Flip 5G. I'm holding on to it until the new one comes out, and then I'll trade this one in for the new one. But yeah, I love the Z Flip. Such a good phone. But as far as a fair price, I would say probably not more than $900. I don't know what they're going for right now. I think I'd seen that they might be around the $850 ballpark, which seems okay considering it was $1,449 brand new. So we'll see. Being a tech reviewer, do you have a daily driver? Recently, my daily driver has been the Samsung Galaxy S21 Ultra, which I think is a really good phone. Super powerful, big screen, works like a champ. Like, this is probably the most enjoyable Samsung phone experience that I've ever had, and I especially like the S Pen support. So it's a really good phone. Some people are saying they're getting like 10 hours of battery life. Some people are getting like 4 or 5 hours, like I am. Yeah, it's real hit or miss, and I made a video about it. And I was a little concerned because when I first made the video, some people were like, "Hey, I'm getting 10 hours of battery life. It's your phone." And then other people started chiming in and like, "No, I'm getting terrible battery life. I'm getting terrible battery life. I'm getting terrible battery life." So there was a ton of those that started popping up, and it was like more and more and more. So I'm like, this seems to be a systemic issue. It may be One UI 3.1 causing it. It may be something else. I don't know. But it's enough that it's frustrated me that I'm not presently using it right now. Christian Geraldo, usually I sell stuff on eBay. If it's people I know, I'll just sell it directly. So it all depends on where I sell stuff. But I don't sell review units. This is just only because I bought this phone myself. So that's the reason I say that I want to get rid of it, to get my money back. Yeah, so do I have a daily driver? Yeah, the S21 Ultra has been. It's really hard to use that word daily driver or words because I'm continually reviewing new stuff. So if it were me, my daily driver would probably be the S21 Ultra if the battery were working properly, or the Fold 2, or the Z Flip 5G. I really like Samsung phones. I really don't like the iPhone 12 Pro Max. And the reason is, and this happens every time I buy an iPhone, it doesn't matter what iPhone it is. They all basically feel boring. They feel the same to me. I get very, very bored with them. And the keyboard used to be the best, like the best software keyboard. It was so good. I could type so fast. And now it's gotten so big for its britches and so smart in trying to tell you how it thinks you should type. It messes up my typing a lot. And it really, really frustrates me. And I also hate the way you do cursor movement and selection with having to hold down on the spacebar and move around. But if you like iPhones, the iPhone 12 Pro Max, iPhone 12 Pro, very, very good phones. They're just boring to me. I don't enjoy using them. But it is, in my opinion, probably the best for shooting video. And this is what I shoot all my videos with, which is why I kept it and didn't get rid of it. I actually bought this Shure condenser microphone that plugs directly into the bottom, and it's powered by the iPhone. And if you've noticed an improvement in the audio quality lately on my videos, that's why I paid like $200 something bucks, and got this microphone. But it's a really good microphone. But yeah, the iPhone 12 Pro Max is not my daily driver, nor will it ever be. But yeah, and another phone that's been really surprising to me is the LG Wing. I actually like the LG Wing a lot. And I got a screen protector on the front. I ended up getting a scratch on the screen, which really, really made me mad because I have no clue how I did it. I just put it in my pocket, and there was nothing else in my pocket. And next thing I know, I look at it a few hours later, and there's this scratch that goes like halfway across the screen. You can't see it whenever it's off, and you can't see it with the screen protector. So I don't really... That's fine, but I actually disabled the biometrics on here because with the glass screen protector, the under the screen optical fingerprint sensor doesn't work. And also the other issue is I'm having these little micro abrasions that are showing up on the bottom screen down here. And I think that's because when you push the screen to the side, it puts some downward force on it. And there's these small little micro abrasions, kind of like this, the rotational curve kind of direction. So I'm fairly certain it's because of that. So I would be surprised if other people aren't having the same issue. Jacob Mullen, good job. Thanks. What phone's your daily driver? Yeah, right now that's up in the air. It is very difficult. I even have two different, actually I have like 4 different SIM cards. AT&T sent me, well, LG sent me a Verizon SIM card that's good for like a month and a half to test out the Wing, because the Wing version they gave me is Verizon. And then I have my 2 normal lines, and then I have 1 other extra line that I pay for as well. So I've got like 3 normally active SIM cards that are in different phones because I need to test different stuff out. So I'm always carrying 2 phones with me. Sometimes I'm carrying 3. So sometimes I'll be able to hold on to a phone longer than normal, but there's rarely a primary phone that I have that keeps a SIM card in it more than 6 weeks, just because of the rotation of devices that I go on. So it just depends on what's going on. And the most frustrating thing is I can't always go back, because I'll get newer and better phones, like the Z Flip 5G. I totally love this phone. My favorite phone of last year, but I haven't had a SIM card in this for like probably 2 months now, because I've been so many devices. What phone are you most surprised with in 2021? Probably the S21 Ultra. There are things that I don't like about it, like they took out the SD card stores, they took out the MST payment method, but adding the S Pen support, and really the phone has been a real pleasure to use. Like, I've really been enjoying One UI. I've really been enjoying using the phone. It's probably the best S series Samsung phone that they've ever made, but yeah, the battery life is what's irking me. So, but yeah, I didn't think I was going to like the phone that much. Like, I really didn't want to get it. I was very much loathing the idea of picking it up, and I went ahead and I bought it, and as soon as I took it out of the box, I was like, wow, this is a nice phone. And then I fired it up, and I'm like, wow, I really like this phone. So yeah, I would say that surprised me the most. Like, I knew it was going to be good. Samsung flagship phones pretty much always are, but they're not always instantly my favorite. So I've been very impressed with it, and I usually lean towards the Notes. But now, since it has the S Pen support, it's been really nice, because I use my tablet a lot, and I also use my phone. And being able to now, like, I'll have my tablet, I'll have my phone, and I'll switch back and forth with the same stylus is really nice. I like that a lot. How's the Motorola flip phone? Is it worth the money? The 5G version is. The original one I would not buy, and of course it was Verizon exclusive anyway. So if you don't have Verizon, don't even worry about it. The newer one, I think they've made some real refinements, better camera, more power, better functionality for the hinge. I think they got rid of a lot of like the snap, crackle, and pop noises. So they did a lot of good stuff on theirs. It was a more substantial refresh than the one that Samsung did with the Z Flip 2 or Z Flip 5G. At this point, though, I'm expecting a new one to come out soon. I think the price has already been dropped to $999 MSRP on them. So if you could get one for like $650, yeah, maybe that might be an all right deal. But at this point, I would just wait for the next one. Kyle, again with the super chat. Very much appreciate that. Thank you very much, sir. With Carl Pay buying essential products, do you think we will see an essential phone too? Any thoughts on what may come of this purchase? So, with him buying essential and not, I think he left OnePlus. So this is, he's doing some other stuff now. I fully expect to see another essential phone. There was another phone that they were actually working on, which looked really, really weird. I don't see that happening, but I'm curious what direction they're going to go with this, because Essential is a company here in the U.S. OnePlus, it took some time to get over here. So with Essential already kind of having a foothold here, I am very much expecting to see an Essential phone too, but also it wouldn't like go past me if they made some other like novel products as well. And the Essential team, they did some really good work. I mean, those guys were churning out software updates as fast as Google was. So they were doing some really good work. Andy Rubin drew a lot of really bad publicity to that company. And then also the phone started off doing really bad. The camera was atrocious. It was delayed several months. It was supposed to come out. It didn't, and it didn't again. So Essential really set themselves up for failure when that phone came out. But over time, I'd say within 6 months was an amazing phone. It was really, really good. It was built so well, especially with that ceramic ceramic body that it had on it. Like it was really nice, very premium. I still use 3-year-old Blackberry Aurora for the daily driver because Key 2 is difficult to find in my country. That is cool though. I have never seen an Aurora. And I remember when they announced the Blackberry Aurora, I wanted to get my hands on one, and they announced it. It was on Crackberry, and I saw that it was only available. I think it was launched in Indonesia, if I remember correctly. Because there's actually 3 different licensing agreements for BlackBerry back then. There was the one for BlackBerry Mobile with TCL. There was also the one under Optimus in India. And there was also a third one with Maria Puta or something like that. I'm sorry, I probably totally botched that. But I know that there was the Aurora that was, I believe, only for Indonesia. So that's cool. I really wanted to get my hands on one. I may still try to get one. I'm actually interested right now is looking on eBay. There's a BlackBerry Dev Alpha C available right now. And the dude wants about $180 for it, I think, 190. I thought about buying it. I have the Dev Alpha B, which, funny thing with the Dev Alpha B. So Dev Alpha, when they came out with BlackBerry 10, they sent these phones out to software developers for people to start learning how to use the operating system and making apps. It's like a real cheap housing dumbed down version of the Z10. So the Dev Alpha A was in such demand that they had to make a second run of them, and they called them the Dev Alpha B. So not really much difference at all, but there's Dev Alpha A and Dev Alpha B, which are based on the Z10. And I believe the Dev Alpha C, I believe, is based off of the Q10, if I remember correctly. And yeah, it looks very similar to the keyboard and everything that turned out as the real unit for the phone. But there's a guy actually selling one, and I'm really interested in that, just for my own personal collection. Not really usable, not really something you'd want to have as a phone. But for my collection, I thought about picking it up. It's really neat. And I do want to say again, though, Kyle, thanks a lot for the super chat. I really appreciate the support. You really don't have to do that, especially not every week. But I totally appreciate it. So, and also anyone else out there, super chats are always available to help support the channel. If you want to donate that way, that's great. Totally not necessary whatsoever. And channel memberships are also available. You get cool little icons and stuff. And you can see whenever people type in the chat, and other things like the monthly members live stream, which I'll probably set for this next week. That's for members only. And also other things like getting access to early videos, which I've not been good about lately, but it's one of those things where I put them out as they get ready earlier for you to see them before the videos come out. Angelo D, what are my predictions with the upcoming OnePlus 9? Yeah, they're really pushing this Hasselblad thing with the camera and the moon. That's kind of been a thing here recently with these phones. It's like the 108 megapixel cameras, the moon mode. And I gotta say, I posted a picture on Twitter a little while back. I used the moon mode on the Mi 11, and good gosh, it took such a good photo. And it's nothing that the other 108 megapixel with the optical zoom combinations can't take care of themselves. But you got to go into the manual mode and change all the settings because it's so bright, trying to focus in on it. So it changes the settings automatically, so you can zoom right in and take a really good picture of the moon. So I don't know where they're going with this. My guess is it will have a 108 megapixel camera, just because that's kind of the thing. I'm sure it'll have a 10 times optical zoom. It'll probably do some sort of a hybrid telescopic telephoto lens. So that's kind of what I'm expecting. I really hope, though, that they can nail the cameras. Because when you look at the other OnePlus phones, they kind of have good cameras across the board, but they're never on par with the Pixel. They're never on par with the Samsung. They're never on par with iPhone. Like, in some areas they will be, but then they'll do something dumb, or it just won't work as well, mostly because of the software, and they insist on making their own camera app. If you put Gcam on them, the cameras are like night and day different, like way better. So I'm hoping that they come up with a better camera system on there. I'm expecting a Snapdragon 888. I'm expecting 12 gigs of RAM probably. They'll probably like have an 8 gig version for like the base model, and then a 12 gig for the upgraded one. My guess is it may or may not have expandable storage. I'm expecting 120 hertz refresh rate, maybe 144 or 165 even. Like I'm trying to get the new Nubia Red Magic phone, and I'm on the list. I haven't got confirmation I'm going to get one yet, but it's got like 165 hertz refresh rate on it. So OnePlus has always kind of been setting the standard, or at least they did, because the OnePlus 7 Pro is the first one to come out with the 90 hertz. So I would kind of think that maybe they might push the envelope and bump it up to a 144 or 165. I've seen that technology in other phones already, so I'd kind of like to see that. OnePlus needs to do something to lead the industry, at least in one area, really to make a bigger splash, I think. But I'm hoping for a slight reduction in cost, just because, and also availability. Like the Pro and the regular 9 really need to be available here. I have talked to OnePlus. I did indicate to them my interest in getting one at launch. They did that for me with the Nord in 10 5G, and then they sent me the 8T as well. And they're still supposed to send me the 8 Pro, but their office in Dallas was greatly affected by the storm, so they haven't been able to send it yet. So I'm really hoping that I am able to still get the 8 Pro. But yeah, I should get the 9 or the 9 Pro, and if I don't, I'll buy one. Like I will have one of them. See, Eric J Gaming, hello from Canada. I enjoyed your BlackBerry videos. Love to buy a Key 2, but it's so expensive. What's a great alternative to the Key 2? Well, the Key 2 LE. Honestly, I prefer the Key 2 LE. Most stuff runs about as fast. I mean, as far as day-to-day usage, yes, there's 4 gigs of RAM versus the 6 in the Key 2, but if you don't use the hub and some of the other stuff, you can disable those. You never really have any RAM issues. I like the keyboard better. If you care about the touch-sensitive keyboard, definitely go with the Key 2, but the Key 2 LE for me at the price and just for what it brings to the table and the typing experience, I actually prefer it mostly over the Key 2, other than just the straight-up power-related issues. If you play more games on there, if that's something that you do on your BlackBerry, then that will give you more options that way as well. And the cameras are better on the Key 2. But the Key 2 LE is still a very good option. Of course, we're waiting on the new BlackBerry to come out, which they've said is supposed to come out in the first half of 2021. So, I mean, to me, that says June 30th. I'm hoping we'll hear something soon. It's been quiet for a little while now since the last couple of announcements. So we'll have to see what happens moving forward. But as far as I know, everything's still on track. Michael Dobbs, ready for something different on the market? All phones look the same, hoping new BlackBerry comes through. Yeah, I've been saying this for a long time now. You can hold up all these different phones, and they all look the same. They might have a camera in a different spot, but overall it's just a big screen with some buttons on the side and a camera on the front and some sort of under the screen fingerprint sensor. They're kind of boring. And so I think that right now, like, novel form factor phones are really in. And I think they're going to continue to be in, and I think they're going to start to dominate the premium sector of the market a little bit more. And then you get something like this. I mean, it really stands out in a crowd, and plus I just love the physical keyboard. But you get something like this. It's interesting and it's fun. You get something like this and it's interesting and it's fun. Or you get something like the Wing and it's interesting and it's fun. So, these novel form factors, they bring something else to the table. They bring something else to the smartphone experience that's been missing for a long time. And excitement. It brings excitement. So I'm really looking forward to what these guys bring to the table, whatever it comes to the new BlackBerry. But I think whatever it is, I think it's going to be good. Let me see. Really hope with the new BlackBerry onward mobility could work with accessory developers and build a holster. I would hope that there's going to be some sort of accessory. BlackBerry Mobile didn't really have a whole lot in that department, and these were the first BlackBerries with keyboards that didn't have some sort of a pouch or a holster. And my hope is that they will have some sort of official accessory, whatever it is that they come out with. I would love to have another leather pouch, and I honestly looked into this myself. Like I would love to maybe partner with somebody and be like, hey, let's design a case to go on this thing or a pouch. I don't think cases work really well for Blackberries just because they're kind of bigger and bulkier and have the physical keyboard. So I don't know. If you do put something on there, it has to be kind of like a shell case. You don't have like those full protective cases. Those just don't work out because you got to use the keyboard. But yeah, I hope that they do have some accessories. That would be great, especially at least one. Like, they need to have at least one accessory for whenever they come out because, you know, you need something to put your phone in. So I think that that would be a miss if they didn't have some sort of official accessory at launch. Homebrew GT, I love how interesting phones are getting. Reminds me of the good old days. All the phones have personality. Have you seen the phones that has a little screen on the back for selfies or something? Yes, I saw that. I want to say that was a Xiaomi phone. I think that's an Ultra. Xiaomi something Ultra. I doubt I'll get my hands on one of those. I know that Xiaomi's got a folding phone that they're going to release, which I asked them. I'm like, hey, can I get one of those? I don't really see that happening just because it won't be something that's marketed towards the U.S. So it seems like the stuff they're sending me is things that they're doing on like a global launch. And global doesn't necessarily mean it's coming to the U.S. Just global, you know, means outside the Asian market. So yeah, I'm hoping to get more phones from them. They seem to like the work that I do with their phones, even though I'm objective and fair, and I say this is good, this is bad, whatever. So I'm hoping that to continue to build a positive relationship with them and can get some of these other cool phones when they come out, but they don't send me everything. So that's not something I really have control over. Ed, hey, thanks for being here tonight, man. Got a really nice leather pouch for my Key 1 that also fits the Key 2. Downside, doesn't have the turn on and off feature. Yeah, and that was something with the BlackBerry pouches. There was a really neat aftermarket pouch that I never bought because I want to say it was like 50 or 60 bucks. And I just didn't have the money for that right now, so I didn't buy one. But yeah, that was also something, not only the leather pouch with the pebbled leather, the BlackBerry logo, it was also shut off the screen when you put it in the pouch. So yeah, I really hope they can bring that back. Latrell, thanks for being here tonight. I recognize this guy somewhere. You may have seen me somewhere. I don't know where. I did actually get a notification today, though, which was really cool. I got a notification that I apparently have crossed the 9,500,000 view mark. So that means next month I will hit 10 million views overall on the channel, which is mind blowing to me. It took me 24 months. It took me 2 years and 4 months to get my first million views, and now in a year and 5 months, so 26 months to get my first million views. In the next, let's see, November, December, January, February. In the next 17 months, I've gotten almost 9 million views. So things have gotten kind of crazy in a good way. So I'm very happy that people enjoy the videos and that I've been getting the level of people watching my channel as I have been. So I hope that continues here into 2021. February sucked. I just posted a thing yesterday with some metrics. I think my views and watch time overall were down like 12% for February. I just nothing was getting traction. I just kept making my videos and hoping that, you know, the next one would be a good one, and they were just flopping everywhere. So March has been good so far. But yeah, hopefully things continue to go well this year. Definitely never where I thought things would be with my channel right now. I remember when I first started my channel, and I was like, man, I really hope that maybe in like 5 years I can get to 25,000 subscribers. And that was what I was telling my wife. And I told my wife, I was like, you know, maybe when I get 25,000 subscribers, like BlackBerry will send me phones, and, you know, people will, you know, look at me like a reputable reviewer and stuff like that. And totally, my conception of where timeline and where things would go just. You know, for a while, I didn't think I was going to hit that. It took me a year and a half to get my first 1,000 subscribers. And then the next year, I got to 4,200. So it took me 2.5 years to get 4,200 subscribers. And now in the last year, I've added 40,000. 40,000 this last year. So I don't think I'll be repeating that this year. For 2021, I don't think I'll get another 40,000, but hey, who knows? What I care about is, one, being here with you guys. I appreciate the support and the feedback, and the time that you guys take to watch my videos, and I'm glad that y'all appreciate them. So that's a huge reward for me, because I put a lot of work into this, and I'm glad y'all appreciate it. Yes, Mario hat guy. The Mario hat is over in the corner right now. I'll have to wear it for a live stream one day. Don't forget about you when you blow up. I'm no worries there, bro. Yeah, I don't know how in the world we're in March already. This last year, it's just gone, and it's one of those things where, in the moment, it felt so slow. Like, it was some days, some weeks would feel like months, and some months felt like years. Like March of last year, the intensity and the stress level and just the unknown and all the things going on, March felt like an entire year. And now here we are already in March again. So, yeah, we'll see. But this year is off to a fast start. Once YouTube recommends you to people, you start getting traction. YouTube doesn't really recommend me a lot. Very rarely when I see my videos, it'll be like, oh, YouTube recommended this, so it's getting higher views than normal. But they're pretty transparent with that. And I remember last year, I was on YouTube recommended for like 2 months. And like all my videos were like, YouTube is recommending this, it's getting more views. YouTube is recommending this, it's getting more views. And then I remember the day they sent me a notification. They're like, YouTube is no longer recommending your views. Views will go down. And I was like, it can't be that bad, right? I mean, views won't go down that much. And it was like, whoosh. Like the 2 months prior to that, I had like almost 800,000 views. And the next month dropped to like 450. I mean, like it just right off a cliff. Yeah, is it a gaming chair? Yes, it is. I can't remember. It's Easy SMX. And I actually owe these guys a review, which I'll have coming soon. I've never reviewed a gaming chair before, but they reached out and they're like, "Hey, you wanna review our chair?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure. I'll review a gaming chair. Why not? I like games. I like gaming chairs. It looks better than the one I have, so sure." But it's pretty neat. Like the armrests, they go up and down. They pivot in. They pivot out. The chair goes up and down. It actually leans back. You can lean the chair back, so it's pretty neat. Oh yeah, Homebrew GT. Yeah, they actually tell you. They don't tell you that they're recommending you, but when you look in Creator Studio, if you look at the videos and you look at the metrics for it, it'll be like a little thing that says YouTube is recommending this video, or you're getting more views from recommended. I'll pull it up and see if I can see what the language is. They tell you though. They tell you that the video is being recommended. Let me find one here real quick, because these last couple of ones that I did are actually doing pretty good. Let me see. This one has more impressions. Yeah, the video's got 2.1 times more views than usual. More people are watching it from the YouTube search results. Higher views than usual. Your video appeared more in search. So I don't know. There was one I had the other day that was saying that it was getting recommended. I'm like, oh, that's cool. I'm glad that this one's getting some views from recommendations. I kind of hope that the other ones would as well. But I think since it's not doing as well anymore, that little thing went away, but still. Yeah, gaming chairs for me are kind of the way to go. They're comfortable. They've got, it's got this little pillow here for head support. But what I also like about it is it kind of turns into like an airplane pillow. So it sits on the chair like this behind your head, but you can pop it off and put it like this. And then if you want, you can sit here in the chair like this. So you can do that, and then you can also lean the chair back, and you can lay in it. So if my wife ever gets mad at me and I need to come sleep out in the office, I'm set up. I'm good to go already. But then it also has like a lumbar posture, like lumbar cushion as well too. So anyway, I like it. They're a little bit more on the expensive side, but yeah, gaming chairs are the way to go. I sit in this chair for work too. I use this chair like 16 hours a day. It's legit. YouTube hates me. I don't think YouTube hates you. I don't think YouTube does hate. unfortunately, if we're not bringing in lots of views, they just don't help us. That's the thing. If YouTube helps you because you'll make them more money, then yeah, you're like their golden child. But if you're not bringing them in money, then they're not recommending you. Do you have a seller you recommend for Xiaomi phones? If it's available on Amazon, I would buy it that way. Otherwise, I look at typically eBay. I mean, it depends on what region and what area you're in. You could probably get it from AliExpress. That seems to be a major retailer outlet, depending on whether they ship to your country or not. Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, I think I might have screenshot it, Latrell. I got a thing one day. It was a notification when I went into Creator Studio. It's like your videos are like no longer being recommended by YouTube, so your views will go down. And it was like had a little graph, and it showed you like how many more views you were getting because of YouTube recommendations. So yeah, that went away. That gravy train like went right off the cliff. Like I dropped like, good gosh, 40% views that month. It was depressing because none of my videos were taking off anymore. I'm like, what's going on? Like I thought people liked me, but no. Ed, hey, thanks for stopping by. Have a good night, man. Homebrew GT. I have no idea what gaming chair to buy. I don't even care if it's gaming or not. I just want a comfortable chair that won't kill my back. Well, I like this one because of the lumbar support pillow. Like I use this one all the time, and also it's good with posture because the back is kind of upright, so you can also lean back into it. And yeah, I think it's good multi-purpose. The biggest thing is just look at the reviews and make sure it's not like a cheap, crappy one that's going to fall apart. Because some of them, just look at the YouTube review, the Amazon reviews. I gave my gaming chair to my son. Bought a new mesh ergo one. I don't like those mesh ones. Like I have one of those at my office that I used to use, and I prefer like the actual real back chairs. I prefer the high back chairs. Whoop. Throw out my phone. What I don't like is mid-back chairs because they hit me like I've got a real tall torso, like a long torso. I'm like 6 foot, 6'1", and those suckers hit me right in the back. And like on my lunch break, I could never like slouch down and try and take a nap or anything. So yeah, I don't like those. And this guy, he gone. Loser. Hide user, he gone. Trying to decide between a gray JBL Charge 4 or white. What do you think? I would go with gray. I like white myself, but the problem is, especially if it's got mesh or anything on it, it picks up. They pick up a lot of stuff over time. Like the gray will hold up better color wise. Any news on the Blackberry and Onward Buzz 9? No, there's nothing new that I know about. Like I said, I'm hoping we'll hear something soon. Maybe as we get closer to Mobile World Congress. Isn't that when is that? I always thought that was in March. Unless I missed it. Oh, no, it's in June. I don't know what used to be in March. I thought there used to be something in March. So maybe we'll hear something, I'm hoping well before then since this is June. But, yeah, all I know is the same thing they've said before with they'll have... The phone's supposed to be out the first half of 2021. So, we'll see what happens. Tower over your CES. I don't know. How tall are you, Latrell? Dom, thanks for stopping by tonight. Do you have any plans on visiting any tech expos next year, or are you looking forward to? Absolutely. I will for sure. As far as I know, CES is going to be in person next year, so I plan on attending that. I don't know. I mean, depending on how things go in the world, I don't know if it'll happen this year, but my plans are next year is I hope I'll go to CES. I'll go to the OnePlus event in New York. I will try to go to MWC if possible, and I'll also try to attend IFA. So, yeah, it just depends on how things are going with work and how things are going with the real world, but I love all that stuff. So my goal is to attend as many things as possible. As far as like cons, like the convention stuff, I mean, I could foreseeably go to VidCon. Maybe. We'll see. I mean, it's not like... I'm not the biggest social butterfly. I mean, I do like to go visit with my friends and all the other creators that I met at CES. I really was fortunate to meet some really cool people at CES. I got to meet El Jefe Reviews, Zach Talks Tech, Travis MCP, Greggles TV, Josh Quiones, Painfully Honest Tech. Like, I met a lot of really cool guys while I was there. A lot of them I never talked to beforehand and just kind of knew who they were. So it was great to be able to meet those guys, make friends with some of these people who I talk to on like a daily basis now. So it's great for networking as well. If it weren't for going to CES last year, I really don't think I would have had the level of success that I did for this year. I got to meet a lot of companies I'd been working with, and also I got to meet a lot of new companies. So it was really great. I made a lot of connections there, just going around and talking to people like over and over and over and over again. So if it weren't for all the stuff that I covered in CES 2020, I would not have been successful as I was this last year. Justin Bozeman, what's my daily driver? I kind of covered this earlier. I don't really have one, but if I were right now, it's a toss-up between the S21 Ultra and probably my Z Fold 2. But my primary sim is in my Xiaomi Mi 11 right now. Yeah, totally. CES 2021 was trash. I went like one day and it didn't remind me. It was bad. Like, it was so bad. Last year, though, CES 2020 was the first time that I was able to go. So I was very heartbroken when 2021 went digital only. But it seems like this year some stuff is kind of starting to try and go back to in-person. But I fully expect that there will be a physical in-person CES in 2022. It may not be on the same scale or level as it was in 2020, but I will be there. I will be going. If COVID allows, I'll be at Rocky Mountain Audio Fest. Hopefully so, DJ or Dom. Let's see. I'm reading off the teleprompter like Ron Burgundy. Galaxy Fold and Z Fold 2 for the win. Both excellent phones. Very, very good. Retro Collector, no updates on the on-road mobility BlackBerry as of right now. Still with the same stuff before with the, supposed to be here the first half of 2021. So we're still waiting. And wow, already at an hour and 1 minute. So I do need to go ahead and hop off here in a minute. I will take any last minute questions though, and it looks like we've got 55 concurrent viewers right now and 31 likes. So if you could, make sure before you head out the door, make sure you hit the like button. And if you had a good time here tonight, make sure you hit the subscribe button. I do this every Sunday night at 7:30 for my live stream. Also, my good buddy English Dan Reviews, he and I have a weekly live show we do on Wednesday night called Unhinged Tech, and that's a lot of fun. If you ever get an opportunity to make that, that's also at 7:30. So, let me see, Latrell, I heard Texas fully open back up. Yeah, that's pretty much the way things are. The governor rescinded the mask mandate and said businesses could go back to 100%. So we'll see how that goes. Me and my family, we're still wearing masks and staying home as much as possible, at least until we can, get our vaccinations. Because right now it's only for like frontline workers and teachers and first responders and people with medical problems or are older in age. So my wife and I probably won't be able to get one until like May. So we're not going anywhere anytime soon. Homebrew GT. Yeah, I think next year, as long as this vaccine works as well as it's supposed to, I think that life will largely be back to normal next year. That's what I hope for anyway. Are you starting to think On-Road Mobility will not release a BlackBerry? No, I totally think they're going to release a BlackBerry. They wouldn't have a news press interview and say that they're working on a distribution plan right now, and they wouldn't be talking about it being a global flagship. They wouldn't be talking about it coming out in Asia later this year. They wouldn't be hiring a vice president for global sales. They wouldn't be hiring a vice president for government sales. So I think that they're moving along. I don't know why we haven't heard anything lately, but my hope is that we will hear something in the near future. That would be great, because if they said first half of 2021, if they're not going to make that, then they totally need to tell people as soon as they can. And if there is anything to do with the phone, if it is going to be available, then I would expect to hear something soon. So it's still a wait and see game right now, but they haven't said anything with regard to it not being here on time. So that's all I can do, is take them at what they've told everyone right now. Your dad, 59 years old, got the vaccine. Oh, that's great. My mom, her boyfriend, my grandma, both my grandmothers have gotten it. So I'm glad that people are able to start getting these things, especially the vulnerable populations. That's going to help out a lot, with the mortality rate and also the severity of illness. So my hope is that things will just get better throughout the year. Things should get better. Like, we're starting to get a large population, even though maybe at 10-15%, but hey, we're adding like 1 million every day. So eventually we're going to get there, and we can go eat our chips and salsa without masks, and we can enjoy visiting with our families and friends again. So I'm really looking forward to that. And unless there aren't any more questions, I think we'll go ahead and wrap up the live stream for tonight. But I'll be back next Sunday at 7:30 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then, of course, we'll be here on Wednesday at 7:30 p.m. as well for Unhinged Tech, which is a lot of fun. You want to make sure you make it for that one. And I've got videos coming out, should be every day this week. So some big reviews, the Xiaomi Mi 11 full review probably later this week. But I'll have my S21 review this week. I'll have my Nord 10 5G and the Redmi Note 10 Pro plus other stuff. So lots of stuff coming out this week. And looking forward to sharing that with you guys. And I'm glad this is a highlight for you, Retro Collector, and I greatly appreciate the support from you guys showing up and hanging out. And again, make sure you'll hit that like button on the way out the door. I hope you'll have a great rest of your night. Have a wonderful day tomorrow, and drink lots of coffee to offset the alarm clock when it goes off in the morning. So thanks a lot, guys. Have a great evening, and I'll see y'all soon.